Today we're going to be making a replica of a Smilodon tooth. Smilodon is also called the Saber Toothed Cat or the Saber Toothed Tiger, and it's a native animal to North America that went extinct about 11,000 years ago. So we do find remains of this animal in the form of bones and teeth, and in California it is our state fossil. It's pretty cool. Now, most people can't afford a super realistic Smilodon tooth replica, and you certainly can't afford to go out and buy yourself an actual Smilodon tooth that's the one found in the ground. So when I work with kids, to give them an idea of the scope and size of a Smilodon tooth, we like to make a replica. You could do this with paper mache, but of course that's a big sticky mess and nobody wants their kid covered in glue. So we could use kind of a shortcut method of using masking tape. So what I start off with is a cutout from a piece of cardboard. It's just an old Amazon box. That is about the length of a Smilodon tooth. Their teeth, a mature adult could have an 8 or 9 inch tooth length. When I do this with kids, we often just cut these out for them, and it's nothing very precise, just about the right length and about the right size. And then we're going to take newspaper and we just crumple the newspaper over on both sides of this board and tape it in place, so you end up with something like this. And you might think, well, that's a pretty lumpy thing. That's not going to be like a smooth tooth. Well, what you're going to do is come back with your roll of tape and wrap around and around and around, overlapping your tape a little bit on each pass until you have your tooth totally covered. If you have any places where you miss, you can always go back and add in. And I like to go over this enough so that you can't see the texture or the print on the newspaper anymore. The tape I'm using is just a regular masking tape. I was able to find some pretty cheap rolls on Amazon. I'll put a link below. If you want to do this with a group of kids or a class of kids, you can make it more affordable with a cheaper tape. Also, a roll that has a little bit less tape on it because it's easier for the kids to handle it. So when you get to the point, you probably have to do a little mushing and melding to try to get it into a nice point. So this tape is pretty forgiving. I still have newspaper showing there. You can go in and do some detailed stuff, closing up any holes, and work on your point a little bit. It doesn't really matter how you do it. So this is quite a bit more work, and eventually you're going to get it totally covered. When you get it totally covered, that's when you need to work on making it more look like a realistic tooth. So this tooth, I totally covered it. I took a look at some pictures on the internet of some artistic renderings of Smilodons and some photos of Smilodon skulls with teeth that are in museums, and decided that it should be darker at the top where the root of the tooth attached into the jaw. Also, these teeth are quite old. A lot of them have just been dug out of the ground, and so they're cracked and stained and a little bit yellowed. And I just wanted to make it a little bit more realistic looking. Now, sometimes kids want to make it look like a fresh tooth, and you can do that too. Some kids like to, make a bloody stump here. You can even add a little artery, whatever. It's up to the kids. But this gives you a real idea of the size of a Smilodon tooth and the fact that you would not like to encounter such a creature out in the wild. Now, I colored this just with a set of water-based markers. You can use Sharpie pens. The Sharpie pens the ink does stay on the tape a lot better, but if you don't smudge this while it's drying, it does set into the tape just fine, and it is pretty permanent. It doesn't seem to be smearing. So that is a Smilodon tooth for you. Thanks. Bye.